Recall. Recall is one of the most important things that you can teach your dog. It's a lifesaver. It can be the difference between them getting shot in a farmer's field or getting knocked down by a car. It can be the difference between them getting into a lot of trouble. So recall is something that every single person with a dog should be working on and getting it solid. Now, how do we do this? Well, there's a couple of rules that we need to follow before we do this. And the first one is simply that their name should always be a positive thing. Now, you should be doing the art of attention and the name game the moment you get your dog, so that that's always a positive experience. I've done that many times in other videos, but effectively that is when you hide a treat, you move it away, you say the dog's name, Ethos, they look at you, good boy. And then you gradually bring that further and further away, making it harder for them to focus on you, and they'll be focusing on you every single time you say their name. Make it a positive always. The foundations of recall is very, very important. So you never recall your dog to give them into trouble. You always want to make recall a positive thing coming to you, the same as their name. You also want to make sure that you've taught this foundationally very, very well. Okay? If you've not done this, it's worth going back to square one. Even if your dog's got sporadic recall, you want to be able to do this fairly well. Yeah? So how you do that is fairly simple. And what I'll do is I just want to use one dog here. So Porthos, up. Stay there, buddy. So I'm going to put one piece of food down and I'm going to walk away. I'm going to put another piece of food down and he's going to come over. Now we capture that behaviour and he comes over. Come, good boy. Move away. Same thing again. Come, good boy. You do that gradually over greater and greater distance. Come, good boy. And as you go greater and greater, good boy. You're a good lad as well, Aramis. As you do that greater distance, you're going to notice that your dog's then going to be actually speeding up when you actually do the recall. That's foundational. You then proof that out. So you'll be proofing that by adding sounds in the house, adding people in the house, having people move around. Then you can start to have a little bit more fun, where you can do things like hide and seek. Now, if you've got a good sit and stay, you can do this fairly well, or you can have somebody just keep the dog in one place as you go and hide, and then you recall them. So what I'll do is I'll make it simple just for the sake of this video, but I'll put Porthos through into a different room, get him to sit and stay. I'll quickly come back and recall him, and you'll see how excited they actually get to do this, because you're playing a game, but it's strengthening that recall. So just bear with me, and I'll do that very quickly. Porthos! Porthos, come! Good boy. And you notice that he gets very excited because he had to come into a different room. Now that's a fairly simple one. All I did was put him through into the other room and onto his bed. But that becomes incredibly important. Your name's not Porthos, my boy. That becomes incredibly important when you're doing recall in more difficult situations. So you can proof this pretty well inside the house. Now, let's head outside and see how we can improve that while we're actually outside. So now we're outside and we're going to be working on proofing. Now obviously proofing takes a long time, so I'm just going to run through this. Before I do, I just want to remind everybody, follow the laws and rules of the country that you are in. If you do not have a secure location such as this where dogs are allowed to be off leash, you must use a long line. That's very, very important. Even if you're in a country where you are allowed to have the dogs off leash, until your dog's recall is solid, they shouldn't be off leash anyway, okay? So we're going to continue with what we were doing inside, but we're going to create a little bit more distance. So we're just going to start off the same way we did when we were doing hide and seek. If your dog doesn't have a good sit and stay yet, then you can have somebody else holding them and then letting them go to come to you, okay? Porthos, stay. And then we create a little bit more distance. Porthos, come. Good boy. And then reward. Now Porthos is used to not taking treats for recall, so he's not really wanting this one at the moment, but that's okay. Porthos, sit. Stay. And we just repeat this over and over. Come. Good boy. And you repeat this until you're getting some good distance going on. Then, if your dog is very play motivated, or even if they're still food motivated, you can start to make a game out of this, okay? If they're food motivated, get a good substantial piece of food, bowl it away, your dog's gonna run and get that food, call them back and reward them with more food. Okay, so you're gonna be going, go, come, go, come. I've not asked you to go anywhere, mate. For Porthos, he loves a good stick. So I'm gonna use this for his recall. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off quite short, and I'm just gonna go like this. Fetch, Porthos, come. Good boy, give. And then I'm gonna go a little bit more. Porthos, come. Because you see, he's gonna come back anyway, because he wants to play fetch. And even if you're using food, your dog's gonna come back anyway, because they know that you've got more food, okay? So you can do this over and over, and because they're excited, it's building the bond with you. It's making you more interesting than anything else in the park. And that is very important for recall. And I hope that helps you guys. Cheers.